afternoon, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us across the entire globe. This is Tarot Today Live. We are live simulcasting on Psychic Talk Radio on the blogtalkradio.com website, as well as simulcasting live video stream on YouTube. That's right. I'm Dax, and here's Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Dax. Hey, everybody. Good.
Happy Psychic Saturday. Yay. Another Saturday. I woke up this morning and I thought it was Monday. And then I realized it was Saturday. And it's like, well, got to show both days, so it doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Saturday. Except we're simulcasting on Saturdays, which means you can call into the show. 714-816-4628. You know, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can actually talk to us live. Yeah, just dial into the number 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad so we know you want to be live on air with us. If you're listening to us on the Psychic Talk Radio Network, hey, you can join us in the chat room on YouTube and actually watch Mary and I and, you know, see the cards and everything like that. The URL you want to use, just open a new tab in your browser, type in www.tarottoday.live, and that'll take you right over there. Click on the current live show and just join us in the chat room there. And they can get a free mini reading too, right, Mary?
Yes, they can. You can get a free mini reading by calling in, just like Dex said, and also in the chat room. And just, you don't have to ask, you know, can I have a reading? Will you pull a card for me? You know, if you want just a general reading, just say, pull a card for me. You know, if you want a reading on something specific, just write that down. We don't have a list. We just roll with it as it comes in. And Dax, you know, checks on the chat and tries to keep up with all your questions. And also, I mean, you don't have to ask questions just to get a mini reading. You can also ask questions about tarot or crystals or numerology or Reiki or oracle cards or what else? A lot of other stuff.
Yes, all the stuff we play around with, hypnosis, NLP, some crystal questions would be cool. You know, that you mentioned crystals, but I was like, talk about crystals too. You know, we don't care. We'll talk about anything on this show, right? Pretty much.
Well, yeah, and my crystal show is later this week, right?
Oh, coming up
on Thursday.
We should tell everybody it's now the first Thursday of every month.
The first Thursday. We'll try Thursdays. I don't know. Tuesday was weird. Yeah. Tuesday was weird for me.
Energy.
Well, yeah. Plus, I take Tuesdays off. It's one of my days off. So having something to do on a Tuesday was just like, I don't know. It boggled my mind. So I'm like, I can't do this Tuesday thing anymore.
Yeah, you need a full off day. You know, we all need that. Even if it's just one day, you know. I feel like I'm 24/7, you know, myself. So I try to take them where I can. And they tend to fall on different days. Like sometimes it'll be a Sunday where I'll just absolutely do nothing. And then sometimes it'll be like a Wednesday, you know, different things like that. Oh, and speaking of, you mentioned numerology. Speaking of numerology, it's a 7-day today. Yes.
Is that good?
That's it, you know. That's good. That's always good. Of course, all the numbers are good. It depends on whether you're, you know, taking the energy in the positive or the negative, because there's two sides to the coin with every single number. You know, it's just like the tarot cards. You know, it's like the bad cards and the really good cards. It's like, well, yeah, but if you look closer, you start to realize there's another side to all those cards. You know, they're not all bad or all good. And 7 is, well, you know, they call it the spiritual number in numerology. In fact, 77 is, for instance, associated with Jesus. Just threw that out there. But anyway, Good question. I don't know. It just always, it's like I haven't researched that in 20 years. So I can't remember what the details are, but it shows up in the Bible. And, it's a universal lucky number, 7 and 777. If you get that as a reoccurring number, a master number, and we call those angel numbers when it's 3 digits, 777. But it's really the energy of, the natural detective, how does it all work, and research and looking into things. This is a great day for that kind of thing. And the what I got in the cards today fits perfectly with that. What's going on. So I pulled some cards and got the 10 of Wands. So a lot of people are probably feeling kind of, like overburdened right now. And so this message is coming through for those people feeling that way. And the guidance from the tarot that's coming through is you want to become creative, use that creativity, your communication skills. It's that 3 energy. 3 is creativity and communication, but this is a big 3, because it's one of the major arcana 3s, the Empress card. And, she's all about, birthing new things and creativity and so forth like that. Right. Well, that's the message coming through. So if you're feeling overburdened, what is it you can take off your plate, or do it in a creative way somehow? And I got the 5 of Wands. So, how can you build a team to help you so you're not doing everything, say in your business or your career or something like that? How can you work with others? That's what's really coming through here. In addition, what can you create? What can you build, between the Empress card and the 5 of Wands? It looks like they're building a tent or something there, with those poles. What systems can you put in place? What is it that is making you feel overburdened that you do over and over every day, that you can create a system, a checklist, an app, put in place technology, something that's going to help you do all those things easier and faster, especially if it's repetitive, if you're doing it all the time. And the things you don't like to do, how can you pass that on maybe to somebody else and build a team, and let other people do it, especially if, you're not really great at something, and maybe that's why you don't like doing it, right? Hire somebody to do it for you. So let's say you do a channel on YouTube and you love doing it, but you really hate editing and you're not that great at it, well, go on Fiverr, go on one of these websites, where you can hire people and hire somebody for a few bucks to do the editing for you, So that's what's really coming through as the message from the tarot today, is like, how can you lessen the stress, get rid of some of these burdens by letting other people help, building a team, and just especially systems, because I think a lot of us don't take advantage of. There's so much technology out there that can make it a lot easier on us. What about you, Mary? Did you get a card of the day?
I did. I got actually a card of the day and a crystal card of the day as well. The card of the day comes from Denise Lynn's Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. It's a gorgeous deck, came out a few years ago. Really lovely artwork by Jesse Reich in it. Back of the card, this just nice purple. But, the message for today is about watching clouds. It says, lie back, rest, relax. You can see there's a nice boat on the water. And it's this idea of like watching clouds. And what came to me with this card is that there's so much going on right now, like crazy stuff going on, like in the news. I mean, look what we're doing at Psychic Spin on. Things are like, whoa, kind of wild in the world right now, war breaking out, all this stuff. And if much as you can detach from all of that and just kind of, you know, let it go by, like you're just watching the clouds go by and not becoming attached to it, not getting emotionally invested, not getting all worked up. That idea of lie back, rest, and relax. It's like we need to do that with our mind sometime, you know?
Mm.
And then the crystal card that came up is interesting. It's Libyan gold tektite. And I drew a crystal card. It's like, okay, if we're going to just let the chaos of the world go by, like they're just clouds passing, what should we be focused on? And Libyan gold tektite is got a message about manifestation. So focus on you and what you want to create, what you want to manifest in your life, right now or in the near future, and what you can be doing now to work towards that. Today's not the day necessarily to get started on it, but it might be the day to kind of, you know, let your mind go there, or actually come back to you and what you want to build in your life. So that's what I got.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's see what's going on in the chat room.
Yes.
Jason's in there. Hi, Jason. What deck is that, Dax? Okay, so this is the gold foil tarot, the Rider-Waite Smith in gold foil.
Yeah.
That's the back, which is gorgeous. And you can see some of the cards here. They are just, wait, where's that? Sorry, my favorite card, like Judgment. And where's some of my favorite cards? Oh, well, anyway, you get it.
No,
And
show the deck
this
a
is,
little bit more. I turn my
okay,
camera off so they can get a close
I'll
up.
show it a little bit more. Okay, so here's the gold foil tarot box. I love this. It's a very inexpensive deck. You can get on Amazon. Open a new tab in your browser, type in thetarotguild.com/gold foil, and it'll take you right there. I put the URL actually in the chat there. And it's got one of these nice flip tops that has a magnet in it. Yes, it's actually magnetic. I love that. It comes with a little white book, which is actually a little colored book. You can see. And that is the box. We'll stick that back up here. And let's see, like here is the 4 wands. The backs, kind of like the background is in gold foil on all these cards, and they each have, completely different. There's my favorite card, the Temperance card. They each have a completely different pattern to it, and so it's the standard, Waite Smith RWS images, but it's done in this gold foil, and I just love the way it came out. It's just, you can use the actual Waite Smith images, but it's just, I don't know. It's prettier to me, Mary. I just love it. The other thing, Jason, I talked about this on a previous show when it first came in, and you weren't here. You were not present. But Jason, and for everybody else that is unfamiliar, the other cool thing about this is not cardstock. This is PVC material. That's right.
Yeah.
And so, you don't have to worry about squishing your cards. They will pop right back into form. They're waterproof, which means you can do readings from your bathtub.
Have you done that yet?
Not yet. I want to do it in the shower, where I have like the shower cap on and the little ducky and the shower, and I'm standing up and the camera on me, and I'm like pulling cards on YouTube. That would be so cool. But
Do it.
yeah, of course, from here up, we're not. Yeah. We're a family show, but I love the way it shuffles. The size is a little bit smaller. It fits in your hand. You can grab it very easily with your hand. And yes, it is extremely slippery. It will fly all over the place. But I've been doing it a few weeks now, Mary, using it, and you get used to it. It's great. So thanks for that question. I love when we get other questions. Growing Old with Purpose is in there. Hi, Rosie. Sharona.
Hey,
Hi,
Rosie.
Sharona.
Sharada.
Vita's in there. That
Hey,
tarot
Vida.
channels. And
Cool.
Samia.
Hi, Samia.
And yeah, I gotta read through all. God, there's so many. Woo. Oh, Jason said Dax at the Tarot Guild Home Shopping Network. That's right. God, I only wish we were making money like that, Mary. Wouldn't that be cool? You know,
Can you
but we have
imagine?
been getting some coffees. And that's been really great. Shout out to everybody, Jay and Rosie. And I mean, everybody's been buying us a cup of coffee. You can just pop over to, where is that slide? Oh, coffee.tarottoday.live, coffee.tarottoday.live. If you want to buy us a cup of coffee, it's not the home shopping network income, but hey, we love it. Get ourselves a cup of coffee. What else is going on in here? So in a little bit, we're going to talk about, what are all those UFOs we're shooting down? I mean, we know the one was a balloon, but then there's those 3 others. And what is it, weeks later now, Mary, and we still don't know? Oh, boy. But I want to, before we do that, Mary, I want to look in the chat and see if we can take care of any of these questions. Nobody's in the caller queue yet. So if you want to call in, that's wide open, 714-816-4628. But I know that Rosie had a specific question. I have a special question. She says, my great grandchild was born on the same day my son died last year on the 22nd of this month.
Wow.
Oh, congrats on the great grandchild. So sorry about your son. I didn't know that. What's the significance? Oh, when she had her daughter on, I think I do remember Rosie talking about that, but that was a long time. That was, a few months back anyway. What's the significance behind this? A message from the other side or what? The 22nd is the master builder number. I love when people are born on a master day number like that. They could be building big things can come from that. What's the significance? Let's see here. A little more shuffling here. The significance. So I'm not a medium, so not necessary, not that I'm not open to messages from the other side.
Are you gonna go first? I'll let you go first.
Oh, I was gonna say you can go first. I'm still working on it here.
Oh,
it's up to you.
Oh, I can. All right.
Okay.
I will come back. Here I am. Okay. So, actually, it's kind of a funny thing, because it's a very unique question for us, of course. And again, condolences on the loss of your son and congratulations on the birth of your grandchild. And in my mind, as I was pulling cards, I thought, you know what? She's asking, is this a message from the other side or something? And I thought about that, like, what card? And just quick in my head, as I was shuffling, I decided if the Hierophant came up, then I would go to my Messages from Heaven Oracle deck and see what message it was, right? So, but the Hierophant coming up to me is already saying that it's a message. And the thing that's interesting is I get the Hierophant card, which you can't really see, but this is the Ludi Lescott deck, and that's overlooking everything else. Okay, so there's a spiritual aspect to that. There's a spiritual significance, I think, to that, aside from the numerology and stuff. And I also got the Magician card opposite the Hierophant. I get the Emperor card. And then 2 kings come up, the King of Cups and the King of Swords. And it struck me that one, in this deck at least, it's all this masculine energy. And then also just having 3 out of 5 cards be major arcana cards, I feel like, okay, we're talking about significance. Now, the 2 kings that came up are kind of interesting. One could be representing your son, but I feel like it's not so much one king represents, a person each or something, but I feel like maybe it's those aspects, the caring aspect of the cup, the sense of the King of Cups, the sensitivity, the even psychic, intuitive sense we have with the King of Cups, and then with the King of Swords, that could be representing another aspect too of the personality, where it's somebody who's maybe they've been intelligent for one thing, but sharp, quick-witted, and sometimes sharp-tongued as well. So I don't know if those things really relate to your son or not, but let's see what message comes up from the Messages from Heaven deck. And just looking at this, it's interesting because there's there's 3 things that come up here. One is just a simple message of being proud of you and aware of your achievements. So I don't know what's happened in the last year or so, but it seems like a big part of what this is talking about is kind of how you've kept going. The other thing that comes up talks about lighting the path and staying aware and going up the stairs and not falling off the map, like socially, not falling off the map when it comes to things you want to do in your life and what you want to manifest in it, like I was talking about with the card of the day. And the other message is about understanding that sometimes you might feel alone, but for you to know that you're not. It's like, I don't know, we all deal with things in our different ways. We all go through the grieving process on our own timetable and in our own way that is right for us. But to me, it's always been this sort of concept or even like evidence. Sometimes I feel that love never dies. That energy, the people that we love, the people that loved us, even if we no longer have their physical presence, there's something there. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something there and it doesn't go away. And that's a very good thing. But let's see what Dax is giving.
That was just great. Yeah. I mean, I do think there's a message coming through. Page of Cups, and I don't know, was your son artistic? But yeah, I really think it's a message from him. And the main focus card in the center here is the 6 of Cups, the nostalgia card. He wants to remind you that you have the memories, even when life is cut short, you still have that. You have those memories. They're not going anywhere. There was great times. He has those memories too. And basically, this is the only major arcana card, the strength card. So the main, message here is to have that inner strength moving forward and to always remember the 6 of Cups. And if you're having moments, 5 of Swords moments, 8 of Swords moments where you're trapped in there, remember, it's all thoughts and ideas. It's trapped by overthinking, lots of thoughts, being trapped by that, being trapped by, memories. And so what you want to do is you want to have that inner strength and shift over to, the nostalgia memories, the great times that were there. I think that's the message coming through. Awesome. So that's what I got. And I hope that helps you out, Rosie. And if you have any more questions about that or, something else, we could always pull another card. It's really quiet out there on Blog Talk Radio. I think we're still live on air, but we don't. No callers on Blog Talk. I have never seen this before, and which
No,
is
that's weird.
perfectly fine, though. Perfectly fine. Those phone lines are wide open if you want to call in. But we have the chat, and I wanted to check real quick if there was any quick questions before we do the psychic spin. It's the last Saturday of the month.
Yes.
Woo-hoo. Nice to know. Oh, Rosie says, nice to know. I love my son so much. Miss him terrible. Yeah. So focusing on those great memories there. Charlotte came in, Grand Madam Tarot.
Yay!
Yes. Let's see here. I'm looking for. Jason said, you look like Sally Jesse Raphael with your red glasses. It's like, oh, actually, that's the other pair, Jason. These are the purple glasses. These are my my cool purple ones, but I do have the red pair. Yeah, that's this is the red pair. This is the purple pair. But thanks for mentioning that, Jason. There was a question, but I'm scrolling back. I try to take these in the order that they came in. Oh, with Samia. Advice for me in regards to love about the situation I'm dealing with. The person Aquarius and I'm Taurus.
It's your turn.
So what's going on, Sammy? I mean, if I had you here, I would ask you what's going on, because I'm intuitive, not psychic. It's like, I don't know everything going on in your life, And so if you have an ailment, you don't go to the doctor and go, so, okay, I have these symptoms, but I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I want you to cure me. Right? Do some shuffling around. I used to not even shuffle at all. I'd shuffle before the show and then take all the cards off the top. But this deck shuffles so good. Really, really good. Okay, there's him. Okay, so coming up as the Emperor, and there's that Ram energy, which, what did you say? You're the Taurus. He's Aquarius. That doesn't really match that, but it's okay. He's coming in as the Emperor, and there's this delayed energy with the Hanged Man. Okay, I think what the main message here is with the Hanged Man. Remember, this is not a man that's been hung. This is a man that has hanged himself upside down, like Odin in the Dressel tree, because he wants to gain wisdom. All right, so he's seeing the world 180 degrees upside down from the rest of us. So whatever the situation is that you are, dealing with, with your Emperor dude, how can you think outside the box and look at it differently? That's the message coming through. Take a step back. This is one of those, there's like a few cards in the deck that I call the thinking outside the box cards. Take a step back, look at it differently with fresh eyes, and that's really going to help. So that's the message I got coming through on that. Mary, did you get something for Samia?
Yeah. It kind of ended up with a similar message in the end, because the final card that I got, which is advice for her, Samia, is the Three of Wands. And you can see, like, it's just like looking out the windows, kind of assessing, thinking like, okay, I'll wait for it to come to me. I'm not going to go chase it. So yeah, take a step back, let him work it out. It seems like there's something to work out. We have the Five of Wands there, that sort of struggle. In this card, you can see the person is sort of, they're not fighting with somebody else. They're sort of struggling to break free. So you have that. And then in the center, underneath that, we, in between the Knight of Wands, which also comes up, is the Three of Pentacles. And so this is going down this line saying, like, the struggle has to do with, like, being able to build something together, work on something together, and then also wanting to just, be totally free, impulsive, follow whatever, interests him. So I feel like that's like somebody who's like struggling with the concept of settling down, it seems. And also that may be something that just kind of, they work out themselves, and all you've got to do is just kind of stand back, be open, be available, if you want this person in your life, and just kind of give them a little bit of space to figure it out. That's what I get.
Awesome
I hope
sauce.
that helps.
Oh, by the way, while you're up there, can you do a quick general pull for oh shoot, now I lost it. I think it was Michelle. Yeah, Michelle, one of our lifetime members at the Tarot Guild. Can you do a general pull for me?
Sure.
Pull a card or some cards. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's pull just whatever comes up here. Okay, so general for Michelle. Okay, I pulled several cards. I just did my regular spread here, but look, it's really easy here. Right at the center is the Judgment card. And again, this is a different kind of deck, but the Judgment card, which we think of, you can think of it as a calling. I had a little saying like cosmic keys are jingling. It's like your cosmic wake up call. It's time to decide, time to make a judgment about something that maybe you are have some anxiety about, or you're kind of tossing and turning at night trying to figure it out. We got the Nine of Swords above this Judgment, so it feels like it's a big moment or decision that's going to happen, and you've got to kind of let go of all of that. Yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt, but this you do not know how dead on you are. I found later in the scroll that Michelle says, I have a question. Is my situation fighting the state going to end positively? And you're like dead on. The Judgment card, this thing weighing over her. It's unbelievable because she asked for a general, just pull a card. But then later on in the chat, she asked this, and you ended up answering it anyway.
Wow.
Continue on.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, good, because I think it ends well. We've got the Fool card underneath that, and with the Fool card, look, be open. Anything can happen. You don't feel like you already know which way it's going to go, and you're getting the anxiety and everything. The last card that I get is a Hierophant card. So on a very basic level, I feel like that's telling you to have faith in it, that you're going to come out of this okay. And also the Hierophant, so often, in a lot of the depictions, he's teaching. He's got students, and you might need a mentor, someone, obviously if it's a legal issue, a lawyer, but maybe somebody that can sort of help you to understand how it works, whether it's a system, where it's your particular kind of case, whether it's a judge you're using, whatever, someone that's going to kind of not make you feel like you're alone in this or on your own in it, and also help you to see that there's every reason to have faith. But that's what I get. But that's what are you getting?
Oh, okay. So my message is completely different for Michelle. What came through is the Ace of Wands, a new opportunity, and it seems to have to do with, career or finance or your business or something along that. And what the tarot wants you to focus on is, what uncommon knowledge can you bring forth to heal others? That's what's coming through. So that's the message that I got. Short and sweet. Awesome. Let's see. Seeing what else is in the chat here. We got, oh, very interesting question from Vita in there. Do you want to save some of these questions for later on and go into the psychic spin now?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. So Vita, hang on with your question there. And anybody else, Grand Madam Tarot, did you say you have one? Or oh, I called you Dan. Apologies. No, that's okay. Yeah. So everybody in the chat, and if anybody's calling in on the phone lines, hold on there. And then if you're in the chat, go ahead and start putting in, if you want us to pull a card for you, just say, could I have a card pull, please? Or however you want to word it. If you have a very specific question, just put that in there. Vita will get your question, which is about tarot and tarot reading. But meanwhile, it's time for the psychic spin. Yes. So this is the segment we do the last Saturday of the month where we look at the big questions or, what's in the news, what's everybody thinking about. And of course, over the last few weeks, it's, the Chinese weather balloon that maybe wasn't a weather balloon and 3 other objects that were shot down. And, we're sending up our $250 million, Raptors to shoot down weather balloons. And it's like, what are these things, these unidentified flying objects, up there? And we thought that'd be a great question for the tarot, right? Or a set of questions, really. I want to know several things. We'll give it a little shuffle here. So, I'm wondering, how much of a threat really was that balloon? Are any, maybe not all, but are any of those objects we shot down alien in nature? Will they never tell us? More likely. They'll never tell us. They said that they, in fact, one of them, I think it's the one in the Yukon, they said that they had given up, trying to find the wreckage. And I think, yeah, come on, modern technology and what's it called, satellites and all that stuff, oh, come on, they found it. They're just not telling us what it is. Anyway, that's my theory there. Okay, let's see. What do we got going here? It's interesting. When I ask about that weather balloon, I'm getting the Page of Pentacles holding the disc over here. It looks like the balloon to me. It's like floating up in the sky. He's like, looking at it here, and then I got that 10 of Wands again. That overburdened energy like that. I think that it's indicating we totally blew that out of proportion. It may or may not have been a weather balloon, but it was a frickin' balloon, people. You don't think the Chinese got satellites over top of us and we got satellites over top of them and everywhere else in the entire world? And don't you think we're flying balloons? Yeah, we actually have balloons. And they're in China, totally overblown. All that is completely overblown. That was my first question. Now I'm going to ask about the, were they or was any of those other things potentially not of this world? Ooh, okay. I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune as the main focus card. Mary, one of the most alien looking cards that we have in the entire deck. When I ask it as a yes, no, I'm getting a two. In fact, the reading's bookended by two cards. Look at him searching over here, right? So that's a yes. And then the 8 of Swords, 8, yes. It's all yes. The High Priestess. She's guarding what's behind the veil. The secrets in the temple. Hiding the secrets. I'm very suspect. What do you think, Mary, from what I'm getting? I mean, I got 5 yeses when I'm asking is it at least one of those maybe not of this earth, you know? It's like, yes, 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 yes.
Wow.
And you know, discs flying in the air. The Wheel of Fortune.
Wow.
What did you ask?
I asked, well, I asked like, what do we need to know about it? You know?
Oh,
And
good one.
also
Yeah.
like, you know, kind of also like, what is it about? You know, is it, you know, I used actually the Mystic Martian Oracle.
Oh, perfect.
For this, right? And, you know, asking it the question like, you know, where did it come from? You know, where are these coming from? And I got the reptilians. Okay. So, you know, some of these cards depict different species of extraterrestrials. The reptilians, you know, the keywords to give you an idea about reptilians, predatory, all about their own survival, a bit tyrannical when they get in charge of anything. And, you know, so if it is like aliens, we're shooting them down because they're not ones we're friends with. Okay. That's what I just, you know, that's what I'm saying. What was it really about? I got the Mission Possible card from another galactic race, the Lyran Oracle. So I think it was a reptilian alien mission, and we shot it down because, like, we don't play that. Okay, apparently, you know, if it had been the White Lions, I bet we were okay with it. Anyway, and what do we really need to know about it? I get the 4 of Swords. We don't really need to know anything about it right now. Okay. And that, of course, the 5 of Cups is rather disappointing. But I think it's the Page of Wands in the future position saying, like, we'll know something later. You know, they'll tell us later, you know, to what extent they have to and to what extent we can handle it. Because it's like we have to remember this. And because I, you know, was in military intelligence for several years of my life, we don't need to know everything, you know, and maybe you could be told the information or I could be told the information and we would be fine with that. We would adjust well. But have you looked at how many people are in the world, in this country? Have you looked at the percentage of people that, you know, are not doing so well? You know, people that are crazy, like in a way that they would not take in that kind of news very well. Yeah, you know, I think, you know, sometimes it's a hard concept, like in the civilian world, to think that, you know, the government shouldn't tell us every little teeny tiny thing that they know, you know. But
so true.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing.
Yeah. By the way, I asked
thing. Go ahead.
No, finish up. Are you done? I don't want to interrupt.
No,
you were doing so good there.
I was just gonna say, think of it in the context of this. It's like, we don't want there to be cover-ups of things that they should not be doing, right? They go against our laws, go against our constitution, go against our whatever, you know. But at the same time, you know, we do want them to keep secrets that keep us safe, you know. And there are secrets that are like that. It's just, you know, when they're being slick and totally breaking the law and everything and keep that secret, that's the problem. But what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I did some follow-ups too, and along the exact same lines as what you asked. Do we need to know right now, and that kind of thing. And look, I got the same card you got.
Oh, wow.
The Four of Swords. Yep. And
Yeah.
along with that, I got the Five of Pentacles. I mean, do we like it? No.
No.
Is it for our better good, as far as the whole population of the United States and the world in general? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Will we ever know? Six of Cups, the number 6 in numerology is a success number, and here's that nostalgia, it, and I feel that's going back to our childhood, because we were the first people where it was like commonly known, even the possibility of aliens, our generation, Mary, and right before our generation, we're like the first ones, and then our generation, and then the generation right after us, we're the first ones that there was stories in the 1800s. There was, little things here and there, but they were very, very local, because we didn't have international news, and certainly not the internet. But I mean, even back in our day, we didn't have the internet, but we had international news that got around the world.
What about what is it, the boomer generation or something, like the people born in the 50s? Didn't they? I mean, they saw, like, wasn't that when I can't remember. When did Roswell happen? Was that the 50s?
Well, Roswell happened in 47. And so the people that were aware of it were the Great Generation. So the people, the World War II generation, the boomers after that were, just being born and growing up, but they grew up, in their early childhood, during an era, the 50s, of when it was really, commonplace. I'm technically Gen X. I'm like at the beginning of Gen X, and you're in Gen X. And we were the ones that through the 70s, television shows, sci-fi and everything like that, we grew up on all that as well, and it was a worldwide thing. And I think that eventually our childhood memories are going to be fulfilled. We're eventually going to know, but we just don't need to know right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the psychic spin. That was a lot of fun. So before we go back, let me check, make sure there's let's see. Oh, we finally got a phone line. So we're going to go to the phone call here. Before we go there, it's the bottom of the hour, past the bottom of the hour. Mary, I'm going to tell people what's coming up on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. You can go over to psychictalk.net/upcoming. You'll also find a lot of our shows in the event section on the Tarot Guild website, thetarotguild.com. And on Sunday, February 26th, tomorrow, Sharona has a returning guest. James Devine is coming back to her show, Magic Universe, and they're going to be talking about tarot and palmistry. So tune in tomorrow, and you'll be able to call in and get free tarot readings and so forth on tomorrow's show as well. And then, of course, Mary and I will be back on Monday, February 27th on YouTube exclusively. So be sure to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll get those notifications. Also, you can go to our channel, and right there it has all the upcoming lives. You can hit notify on each one, so you'll be notified. And then Mary's new day for her show, There's a Rock for That, is now the first Thursday of the month, and it'll be March 2nd. And I'm going to stop there because we'll be back Saturday, but I'm going to let Mary tell you what are you talking about again on Thursday, Mary?
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to feature an interview with Donald Altman, who just had a book come out. It's a really, really cool fiction book called Travelers, and that's available now. Donald Altman is just so much fun to talk to. He writes the mindfulness blog on the Psychology Today website. So I'm really excited to share the interview with everybody. And we talked for a long time. So on the radio, you'll hear, excerpts from the interview, and then I'll post the full raw video interview with him on my YouTube channel, Pterodactyl Experience, after the show on Thursday. But I'm really excited about that and excited to be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's that like? I guess I'll find out.
Awesome sauce. Let's see. More people coming in. We got Homie Panda's back. Hi, Homie.
Homie Panda.
I think Homie has a question in here somewhere, but I got to scroll around and find out what it was. Rimsha has a question. Rimsha's back as well. Hi, Rimsha. Tarot Destroyer's back. Hi, Tarot. Tarot Destroyer's back. Let me see. Oh, Vita says, wow, I love both readings about balloons and aliens. And there was a question, though, that she had. Let me scroll back here. Oh, here you go, Mary. How do you, and this is great for you in particular, because I know you deal with this. How do you handle people that ask the same questions every week? I have the same issue. It's the same people asking the same things over and over and over. Vita's getting this. And so, she's a newer professional reader, wants to know, how do you deal with that when you're a professional reader?
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it happens a lot, and I think a lot of times it's because, it's just human, it's like, okay, you have something going on in your life, or, usually it's like around a problematic relationship, and you ask a question, you get a reading, and you're like, okay, and nothing's happening. The situation still isn't changing, and so I think what it is, it really comes down to this concept of, what a person who doesn't read tarot cards or study tarot reading understands of how it works, and the reader's perspective on it. Someone who's always working with it, and what we find is readers, and I'm sure Vita may have found this as well, is that if you, and who knows what to call it or why it seems to happen this way, but if you keep asking the exact same question, of the cards with very little time in between, say only like a few days later or a week later or something, you get similar answers, but then there's a certain point where everything goes haywire. It's almost like the tarot energy telling you, like, you have your answer. You have the answer. And what I ask clients most of the time to do is like, hey, don't get a reading right after a reading on this, at least not for me. They'll shop around, go to, there's a lot of people that will ask the same question of the same reader over and over again, but they're also asking that same question of like 20 different readers at the same time, whether it's like free readings on live or whether they belong to there's a service they subscribe to get readings. And, whatever happens, whatever information you give them, if you do the reading, or if you turn them down and say like, oh, I just can't do this. The lesson is always for them, So I don't feel like, I'm carrying the world on my shoulders with those kind of situations. And also what I ask clients to do is ask about a different aspect of this, probably the number one question I get asked on Keen is thoughts and feelings. How's he feeling about me? What's he thinking about me? Where, what can I expect? And that's the kind of question that actually I don't have a problem with, because that changes all the time. I mean, we go through so many, we go through thousands of thoughts just within an hour of one day, So, it's interesting to kind of check in on something. But yeah, if it's exactly the same specific question, it can get kind of weird with the cards that come up. It's almost like stop asking the question is the message the cards are giving the reader.
Yeah.
But basically, I don't sweat it, because whether I, reject that particular reading and say, no, I just can't do it because I don't feel good about it, or whether I, ask them to look at a different aspect of it, ultimately the message and all of that, and then the experience of it is for the questioner, for the client who is seeking some sort of help or answer on what is probably a pretty problematic situation in their life. So I don't take it lightly either, because I think I see that sometimes with tarot readers. You can see some of them get this sort of God complex, like, well, I'm always right and they just don't accept it or whatever. And I think that's a bunch of BS too. So,
Sure.
it's like, just be yourself, be you, do what's authentic to you when those kind of things come up. And if it's not authentic to do a reading like that, then don't do it. What about you, Dax? Why do I keep wanting to turn my camera off? I don't know.
I don't know why you're turning your camera off. We're having a conversation.
I have no idea either. I was thinking we're doing readings. I don't know.
No, we're just having a conversation right now, but
We're
are going to
just
go to the
shooting the
phone lines.
breeze.
There is a
What
question
do
from
you
Homing
think?
Panda, but I'm like, handle it the way you want to handle it. There's no right and wrong answers here. If you want to be really strict about it and tell your client after you're done, okay, now don't ask for another reading for 4 weeks. Don't ask for another reading for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. You put a number on it. Fine. Or to be honest, I think if you go the other direction and maybe try to give them a little guidance, try to have them look at it a little bit differently, like you were saying, come from a different angle on the question so the tarot doesn't get upset, because the deck does get upset.
Right.
I don't think it's going to hurt either way. I mean, if you just, just do another reading, it's up to you whether you want to be stringent on it or whether you want to just go with the flow. I really don't think it matters, to be honest, because if they are asking too much, too often, the tarot is going to not answer. I mean, you don't want them to become dependent on you. So,
Right.
Just do the reading so you can take their money. No, of course not. You got to have professional ethics here, So you explain to them, why this isn't going to be working and why it's not a good idea, and try to get them to come back with different questions, or at least a different angle on the question they keep asking. So that's my thoughts on that. So Homie wants to ask about what others think about me. That's very interesting. But before we go to that question, let's go over to the phone lines, because we do finally have some calls coming in at the end of the show. So we'll try to squeeze something in here, and then you can call in tomorrow on Sharona's show. That's right, because everybody called in too late. Okay, so area code 651. Caller, are you there? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Yes,
area
hi,
code
this
65.
is Christiana calling from Minnesota.
Hi, Christiana.
Hi.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, I do have a question for a reading.
That's what we're asking you, hon. What's your question?
Okay. I was wondering if you see anything that says that I'll have kids in the future. Like,
oh, we haven't had that in a long time, Mary.
Healthy, healthy
I-
children, and
Dax, I think now it's your turn.
Actually, it's your turn, but it doesn't matter.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, because I ended the last time we were actually doing readings. Let's see. Okay. So what I'm getting is, first of all, and I know we're on radio, but for the people watching on YouTube, first of all, 5 of Cups popped up again. This is the crying over spilt milk card. I kind of feel that's how you kind of feel about, just hearing your voice and the way you're talking about it. It's almost like a longing, like a, is it going to happen kind of thing. Right after that, I get 2 8 cards. I get the 8 of Swords and the 8 of Wands, followed by the Chariot. 8 is the number of abundance in numerology, and you got 2 8s. I think it's definitely going to happen. The 8 of Swords, she's surrounded by swords, which are thoughts and ideas. You're overthinking this. You're trapping yourself with that, and I think that might be the stumbling block. Like, instead of focusing on the lack or your thoughts around it and, trying to think about it logically, what do you really want to happen? And then create a vision of that in your head. What does that look like? Once you get pregnant, have children, they're healthy, exactly the situation you want. And that'll start moving things along with the universe. And then that's when the 8 of Wands happens, things happening quickly. Things will start to break loose. And then ultimately the Chariot, which is a success card. It's actually making forward movement in that. So that's what I'm getting on that question. Mary, what'd you get?
Yeah, what I get is like right now is not the time for some reason.
Right.
The 4 of Pentacles comes up in the end here, along with the 3 of Wands preceding it, and we have the Page of Pentacles at the center. So I feel whatever's going on right now, I've got the 3 of Swords and the Devil card underneath that Page of Pentacles, the 3 of Swords above it, the Devil card underneath it. It's like right now is not the time. I don't know if there's something that is like kind of toxic, I guess you could say, in a very, basic way going on. It could be, being too attached to the idea. It could also, be coming from it from a point of pain or loss. Right now, in some way, that could be
part of it is the dad, or he's. I had a baby, but he passed. So it's my son Taylor's father. Some of the problem is with him.
Yeah. So it makes right now not a good time, and I'm sorry, that you had a baby that passed, and Four Pentacles is an interesting card because it's about, in a lot of ways, it's about like just saying like, okay, it's time to maintain, time to be grounded, time to get things in place. And, it comes up in the future position when you do have a baby, you definitely want the structure in place, you want the stability there. And that's not there right now for you. But a lot of times I know it's really easy to think like, is it ever going to happen? Am I going to have children, that are healthy and have that family that, I can see in my heart, And I think that if you can like let go of a lot of that, thought process and just know, yeah, that day's going to come. It's just not today. And it's, the focus should be more on, setting things up. So, it's going to be great when it does happen, getting that structure, getting stability in place, and whether that, includes, the father, or a different one in the future. There's a lot to figure out there, and there's still a lot of healing that has to take place too. And you got to give yourself time and give yourself a break. I'm not seeing anything saying that it can't happen or it's not going to happen for you. I just think right now is the wrong time to worry about that. Have faith in that instead, and get that,
Thanks for
get the situation fixed for you.
thanks for the
Yeah.
call, Christiana. I hope that
Okay.
helped you out.
Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I did promise homie we were gonna get to her question, so we'll do that real fast here.
Yes.
And we are at the end of the show, folks, so that's
Well,
all we have time for. I'm sorry, did you say something, Mary?
I said, whoa, I didn't realize we were at the end of the
whoa,
show.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
We're already
you're
at
right.
the end of the show. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we didn't get to your
Eric
question,
has
we're sorry.
course.
We try to take them in the order that they come in, and we do as many as we can for an hour. And as I said, hey, same bat time, same bat channel, call in the same phone number tomorrow and chat with Sharona, and she will be doing readings. Yes. And so homie Panda wanted to know about how others see her. I'm scrolling through here trying to find the original question. What others think about me? Is there a problem with me? That's it. I've never had that. Absolutely. As soon as I saw that right away, I was like, I don't see any, I'm not getting that at all. I'm not feeling that. I don't think people think that at all. In fact, I think people think of you as an intuitive, sensitive kind of person. The Queen of Cups, it's that psychic energy. It's, your intuition, psychic ability. It's that nurturing factor. That's how I think people see you. I also think they see you as the Knight of Pentacles, that you're very dependable, you're grounded, you're down to earth, you're careful and slow moving. You move towards the goal, but you're not in any rush to get there. You dot all the I's, cross all the T's. That's how they're thinking of you. And then lastly, the Hanged Man. I think they see you, a lot of people see you as someone that's able to think outside of the box, that's able to look at the world differently from other people. And I think all of that is just really great. I don't see anything negative there at all. And certainly no problems are coming up in those cards. What about you, Mary?
Well, I think you did such a great job with the tarot that I just decided to pull an angel card for that. How do people see you? And the angel card that came up is the Angel of Diversity. So I think what it is like maybe sometimes you just kind of blow people's mind, because there seems to be so many different things that or that you maybe can do or have interest in, or maybe your life experience, that sometimes people maybe don't know where to put you, because boy, howdy, everybody loves to put everybody in a box, don't they?
Don't they?
It's like, oh, she's a seamstress and she's very quiet and she can go on the shelf here. And, people do that. They try to kind of stereotype what based on interest, based on, jobs sometimes. And I think you're somebody who just doesn't fit in the box. And I think that's a very good thing. I don't think that that's a problem. And I think people just they probably see you in a lot of different ways. Like, that's what I got from the cards that you were pulling, Dax, was that, we're not all just one thing to everybody. We're not just, vanilla.
Different things to different people too.
Yeah, exactly. And we play different roles in their life, just like they play different roles in our life. So no, I don't think that there's a problem. I think that maybe some people don't know what to do with you because you don't fit in their little box. But, don't worry, there's always going to be somebody who does get you. And that's always a wonderful feeling when somebody really gets you.
I hope that helps you out there, homie.
Yeah.
So everybody be sure to hit the like button on this video and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Really helps the channel out a lot. And we will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, Tomboy. Awesome.
Awesome sauce.